Hey everyone, so I just want to show off my Silvie Slime Sovereign deck. I will also post a deck list in the description so you can just very easily see the deck list in full. But this is just a nice way to talk about the deck. So if you prefer something where that is more audio than visual, you can just watch this and I will explain the deck. But if you prefer just like quickly seeing it, so you can make the deck, or if you just want to check quickly for the deck list so you can see the ratios or what cards I'm running, you can also check the deck list. But here is my Silvie Slime Sovereign deck in the beautiful Silvie Recollection box I paid slightly more than market price for. Slightly. But yeah, this is my deck. So I have the 12 card Regalia deck. I have my 60 card main deck. And I have my 15 card sideboard. So in this game, you can only have 15 points that I can allocate to your sideboard. A main deck card is worth 1 point. A Regalia deck card is worth 3 points. And because I really only want to side in main deck cards, I'm playing 15 main deck cards in the sideboard, so 15 points worth of cards. But yeah, let's go over the deck. This deck does contain proxies, just to let you know, because Grand Archive is very proxy friendly. You won't be able to use this deck at you won't be able to use proxied cards at sanctioned tournaments unless they are from Prexia's vaults, which are totally legal proxy cards that you can use in tournaments. But you would, but basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm playing this at a tournament that allows proxies. So if you see some proxy cards, you would know that that's why I run them. But yeah, let's go over the Regalia deck. So I have the Spirit of Slime. Level 0, on enter, draw 7 cards. Inherited effect, ignore the elemental requirements of basic element slime cards you activate. Um, so yeah, this basically just lets you use any slime of basic elements. So you can use fire, water, and wind slimes in your deck. The drawback, of course, because this is norm element, you don't really have the liberty of using fire, water, wind element cards that are not slimes. So you can't use like the action cards of those elements. You can't use attack cards of those elements. You can't play other non-slime cards of those elements. So this is really nice in that you can use other slimes, but you are just basically limited to norm cards and slime cards. Level 1, Silvie Wild's Whisper. On enter, the next animal or beast ally card you activate this turn enters the field with an additional buff counter on it. Having buff counters on your slimes is just really nice. Basically, when you enter, and then you just play out a slime, it will be buffed, which is just a nice effect to have. Silvie with the pack. On enter, if you control an animal ally, draw a card. If you control a beast ally, draw a card. So your slimes are either beast or they're either animal, depending on the slime. So you could possibly draw 2 cards of this. But yeah, this is just a nice effect to have. At worst, you're going to realistically draw 1 card. At best, you're realistically drawing 2 cards. You could technically draw 0 while you have no allies out whatsoever, but why would you go into this if you have no allies out? So really, at worst, you're just drawing 1. At best, you're drawing 2. Silvie Slime Sovereign. So Silvie is the Terra element. So after you go into this Silvie, you can use any Terra element card. On enter, the next slime ally you activate this turn costs 2 less to activate and enters a field with 2 additional buff counters on it. So reduce costs of slime by 2 and then enters with 2 buff counters. Really nice effect. Ignore the elemental requirements of advanced element slimes you activate. So with the Spirit of Slime, you can use basic slimes, so water, fire, wind. For Silvie Slime Sovereign, you can use advanced element slimes, so like Luxum, Neos, Astra, etc. You can just use like the higher level slimes. So basically, between the Spirit of Slime and Silvie Slime Sovereign, you can use any slime card, which is really, really fun. Slime Totem. Slime allies you control have Vigor. Just a really nice way for you to aggro your opponent with your slimes on your turn. And then, end of your turn, they will wake up. And then you now have slimes that can retaliate against your opponent when they attack, or possibly slimes with intercept, or slimes with taunt that you want to be awake. But yeah, this is just a really nice card to have. I really like Vigor. Verdant Scepter. Class bonus on enter, you may banish a slime ally you control. If you do, put an amount of refinement counters on Verdant Scepter equal to the banished ally's power plus 1. Remove a refinement counter from Verdant Scepter. Put a buff counter on each of up to 2 slime allies you control, then draw a card. This card is so insanely good because you will have very, very buff slime allies later on, especially like very, very late game. Your slimes will be very buff. Realistically, they will have buff counters on them that will increase their power. So if you have this Verdant Scepter, you can get rid of a really big slime. Come into play with a bunch of refinement counters. And then, like, when you remove a refinement counter, buff 2 slime allies, draw a card. So you can just keep doing this turn after turn. Your slimes will get bigger and bigger, and then you keep drawing a card once you do it too. This card is just really good. There is also a slight combo that would work with this card that I will get to once I reveal the card. I'm playing Beast Bond Ears. It's not focusing. But basically, your champion gets +1 level as long as you control an animal or beast ally card. This is really nice because of your pride effects. So having this card will let you attack with slime allies that have a specific pride number. I'm also playing Beast Bond Boots. So this is my tech of choice for the deck. Banish Beast Bond Boots. Your champion gains Spell Shroud until the end of turn. Activate this ability only if you control an animal or beast ally. So giving Silvie Spell Shroud is just a really fun thing to do for this deck. Just in case I want to prevent spell damage to Silvie, so it's just a really nice inclusion in the deck in my opinion. Stone Scale Band. Class bonus on enter, discard up to 3 allies or 3 ally cards from your hand and or memory, then draw that many cards. Really nice effect for once you are setting up, especially if you just want to cycle something. I say setting up despite this being a Terra card, so you can't use this like until you are level 3. But when you are still setting up your trash, cycling through, this card is nice for that. You just can't play this early, but it is a really nice effect. For 2, and then suspend this. The next ally card you activate this turn can be activated as though it has fast activation, which is very nice for some slimes in this deck, which I will also touch up on once I reach them. There's some dust on this card. Okay. Guy's Blessing. Uh, also Terra Element. Element bonus. You may banish 4 animal and or beast ally cards from your graveyard to activate this card from your material deck without paying the cost. Stone Scale Band is a very nice way to set up your trash so that you can have more slimes in trash. And then, because you have, hopefully at this point, 4 or more slimes in your trash, then you can use this element bonus effect where you can play this card out without materializing it during your materialization phase. So this is just a really nice way to get it out without wasting one of your materialization phases on it. However, because you banish your slimes, this will also set up for Storm Slime, which we'll get to later. Play with the top card of your deck revealed. You may activate animal and beast ally cards from the top of your deck. So basically, this just gives you quote-unquote card advantage. I don't know if I should say quote-unquote because this actually is pretty good card advantage. Play with the top card of your deck revealed. If it's an animal or beast, you can play it. So it's just really nice to have. And then Covenant of Thorns. This card costs 1 less to materialize since you are a tamer, so basically materialization costs 0. Ally Link. This object enters the field linked to target ally. If the link is broken, sacrifice this object. If damage would be dealt to your champion, that damage is dealt to linked ally instead. Note that this can be to any ally, does not have to be your ally. So, for example, if you have this card out, you can link it to your opponent's ally, and then once your champion would take damage, their ally would take damage instead. Very nice card. Quicksilver Grail. Divine Relic. You can only have one card with this keyword in your material deck. On enter, banish a non-champion card from your material deck face down. Banish Quicksilver Grail. You may play the banished card. So this card has a bunch of fun synergies with this material deck. So the Silvie Slime Sovereign deck is very known for its material deck. Yeah, my camera is not focusing. But, yeah, part of the reason why Silvie is such a strong deck is because it has access to incredibly strong regalia. Slime Totem just gives your slimes vigor, so they can just very easily aggro your opponent. You don't have to worry about them being rested, because since they have vigor, they'll just awaken. So then you can retaliate next turn, you can intercept next turn, you can have better taunters that can also retaliate if you want. But yeah, this is just really nice with the deck. I really like it. Some people don't really like this. They would rather run other cards. But for me, I really value Vigor. Verdant Scepter, just really nice at being a card draw engine while also buffing up your slimes. You do have to banish a slime ally you control when you enter this. But banishing slimes is also pretty good for Storm Slime. There is also synergy with Baby Green Slime, and I will also get to that card once I reach it. Beastbond Ears, just having more level so they can use Pride element cards more easily. Beastbond Boots, a really nice tech for giving your champion Spell Shroud. Stone Scale Band, being able to play a slime ally at fast speed. Very nice. I will touch up on this card in a bit, but this card is a very nice inclusion for this deck. Guy's Blessing. You can banish 4 slimes to play this without paying cost. So you don't even have to pay the 1 to materialize. You just banish 4 slimes, play this for free. Play with top deck revealed, pretty nice at card advantage. Covenant of Thorns, pretty nice at preventing damage to your champion by redirecting it to something else. Quicksilver Grail. Let's talk about the synergies of this card. So this, you can banish a material, and then you would then be able to play that at instant speed. So, for example, you can banish Covenant of Thorns, and then when your champion would be hurt, maybe they are maybe they're using a fireball on it, and then your champion would take damage. So you could banish Quicksilver Grail, ally link Covenant of Thorns with one of their allies. Instead of your champion taking the damage, their ally would take the damage. Or even, it doesn't have to be a spell. It can be like any damage dealt to your champion. You can banish Quicksilver Grail, play Covenant of Thorns at instant speed, target any ally, and then have that ally take the damage instead. You could also banish Beastbond Boots. This is a pretty nice card to banish. So let's say that you are playing against a spell-heavy deck that will have access to spells that target champions. So if you banish Beastbond Boots instead of the Covenant of Thorns, you can then also just banish this, give your champion Spell Shroud, is now unaffected by like Fireball. I'm just saying Fireball, but it can be any spell. I have also heard that Verdant Scepter is also a really nice card to banish with Quicksilver Grail. So then that way, you can basically play a slime ally in the turn, get rid of Quicksilver Grail, play out the Verdant Scepter, and then get rid of that slime ally in the same turn. So basically, this will more easily allow you to target specific slime allies that you want, especially the buff ones with like Verdant Scepter. But yeah, this Quicksilver Grail, pretty nice to have. But yeah, it's just really nice on Beastbond Boots, especially Covenant of Thorns and Verdant Scepter. Those are the three cards that I would target with Quicksilver Grail. Not really target, but I would choose with Quicksilver Grail. Covenant of Thorns would be my number one choice, because this can be against all damage, whether by battle or by spell. So this is just really nice with this. I would use it with Beastbond Boots if my opponent isn't suspecting it, or if they are pretty spell heavy even before late game. So I might not have Terra Element enabled yet, so I can't even play the Covenant of Thorns, but I can play Beastbond Boots. So if they're going to use some kind of spell, Beastbond Boots is also a really nice choice. Early to mid game, you can play this out. You can only play this out after you have Terra Element. Verdant Scepter is nice depending on the matchup, but realistically, I would rather use Quicksilver Grail on Beastbond Boots or Covenant of Thorns. So that is my material deck. And now I will go over my main deck. Okay. So here is my main deck. I'm playing 4 of the baby gray slimes. So it has Intercept. On enter, you may reveal 2 slime cards from your hand and or memory. If you do draw a card, you will essentially always be able to draw a card when you play this, which is really nice. It will play itself, draw a card. So you are not going to lose card advantage when you play it. It's just a really nice card. It is being eyed for a potential ban because of how good it is. It also has Intercept, so it's just a really nice card to play, and then you can protect your champion later. Really nice card. Playing 4 of those. I'm playing 4 of the Limitless Slime. This card is pretty nice, especially because you're playing Beastbond Ears, so you will have more levels pretty easily. So yeah, it is class bonus level 1+, being able to give you floating memory. Class bonus level 2 plus. Limitless Slime gets plus 1 power and plus 2 health. Class bonus level 3 plus. On attack, put a buff counter on Limitless Slime. So your Silvie could be level 2. But if you have the Beast Spawn ears, then Silvie is treated as being a level 3. So if you have basically a champion that is treated as level 3 or more, on attack, put buff counter. On attack, put buff counter. So this thing can get really pretty big. I'm playing 4 dungeon guides. On enter, you may banish 2 cards at random from your memory if you do level up your champion. So this will help you to level up Silvie pretty quickly. But also, because you are banishing cards, this will also help you to have more banished slimes, which will also help you with Storm Slime. But yeah, Dungeon Guide, just a 4 of to quickly level up Silvie, but also so that you can have more slimes in banishment for Storm Slime. Have Baby Red Slime. Class bonus on attack, you may discard a card if you do draw a card into your memory. If the discard card was a fire element card, Baby Red Slime gets plus 1 power until end of turn. So really, I don't rely or even count on having the plus 1 attack because you are not playing many red element cards. What I do really like about Baby Red Slime is that this will help you to cycle through the deck. So you attack, draw a card. No, you discard a card and then draw a card into memory. So, for example, if you have this early to mid game and you have some advanced element cards in your hand that you cannot yet activate, you can just attack, discard one of those advanced element cards, draw a card into memory, or even late game for once you have already reached level 3, you don't need dungeon guides, you can just attack with this, get rid of your dungeon guides, or any other card that you do not really need, or you cannot play. But yeah, this is a really nice card to have. So I'm playing 4 of those. I believe 4. Okay. So I'm playing 4 Slime Eruption. You may banish any amount of Fire Element Slime ally cards and up to 2 non-Fire Element Slime ally cards from your graveyard for each card banished this way. Choose a unit and deal 1 damage to it. So again, this card is really nice because you can banish Slime ally cards, which will also really improve your Storm Slime damage. But it's also really nice because it's floating memory. So this is nice at being able to remove stuff at fast speed, or you can damage your opponent at face. But, just being able to remove slimes from your graveyard, put them into banishment, will help your Storm Slime. If this is in your graveyard, it will just act as floating memory, which is nice because your deck does not have too many floating memory cards. But it is a really nice card to have. I'm playing 3 Escape the Wreckage in the main deck. This is just a really nice card to combo off of King Slime. Return target ally you control to your memory. If you do draw a card into your memory, really nice card. I will explain why this is really good for King Slime. But even on some slimes with on enter effects, such as Baby Gray Slime, you can use it, put it into memory, draw a card into memory, so this will just give you card advantage. Even if they don't have on enter effects, it will still just give you card advantage. But it is fast speed, so it is really nice if your slime is going to be removed in some way, if it's being targeted by an attack, or by a spell, or by some kind of other ability. You can escape the wreckage, bring that slime back, draw a card into memory. Very nice card. Very nice to combo with King Slime. I'm only playing 3 of them in the main deck. 3 Escape the Wreckage, 1 in the sideboard, but we'll go to that later. 4 copies of Gather Slime. Class bonus, fast activation. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Recover X, where X is the amount of slime ally cards revealed this way. Put a slime ally card from among them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Very nice, because you're playing so many slime cards that you realistically will reveal at least one. So you're just always going to be able to recover some amount, adding a slime ally card to hand. So this will be a net 0 card, where you get to essentially look at top 5 cards of deck, choose any slime, add to hand, recover for how many slimes you revealed. This is also fast activation, so you can use it during your opponent's turn for when you have more memory. This is really nice, because sometimes you'll just want to end turn with more memory. For example, if you want to keep Stone Scale Band active, so if you have the memory for if you want to use Stone Scale Band, just like have it not memory. I'm just so used to Digimon. But if you have like the cards in hand, so you can play Stone Scale Band. Just if you choose not to, you can also use that the cards to pay the reserve cost to play Gather Slimes. So sometimes you just want to have open cards in hand, so you can just play Gather Slimes or even Stone Scale Band. I believe, yep. I'm playing 3 baby green slimes. So class bonus, fast activation. On enter, suppress target item or weapon. To suppress an object, banish it and return it to the field under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end phase. So this is really nice, because this is fast activation. You can suppress your opponent's weapon as they are using it to attack you, or you can suppress some items that will also draw you cards on enter. For example, well, like, not in the Regalia deck, this is not a good example of that, but you could suppress something like Verdant Scepter, so they can get that on enter again for once this is out of refinement counters, or if you just want to banish a slime ally, so you get more slime allies in banishment. But yeah, you could just like banish Verdant Scepter so you get that on enter again. Really nice card for that. You could also banish any of your Regalia, basically, for once your opponent is about to remove it. If they have some kind of removal, and they're like, hey, I'm going to get rid of your Beastbond Boots. You could also just play Baby Green Slime, suppress it so it's no longer in play, and then end of turn, just bring it back. Or Beastbond Ears, same thing. If they want to remove this, suppress it. Like, basically, you're just like saving your cards from being removed, because you temporarily remove them. But yeah, this is a nice card. You can also get rid of your opponent's items or weapons temporarily as well. There are more items that will really work with this card, but I have not yet gone through them. 3 green slime. So Pride 3. So this is one of those slimes that you want a higher level on your champion so they can be able to attack with. On enter, put 2 buff counters on green slime. Class bonus, on leave, put the buff counters that were on green slime on target ally you control. This is a very nice card. Very nice synergy with a Verdant Scepter, because you can just keep buffing this green slime up. And then once it leaves, it can give those buff counters that has accumulated onto different slime. But yeah, this is really nice. Why am I only playing 3 of these? Because I don't value them as much as my other slimes. And I think that 3 is just a really nice number so they can see your slimes, but you don't see them too much. So 4 baby gray slimes, just because it's such a good card. You kind of want it to run at 4. Same thing for limited slime. It can get pretty big. It also has floating memory. It can just keep getting bigger and bigger as it attacks. So basically all the 4 ofs you want to see more often. The 3 ofs are nice. They are really nice for the deck, but you don't really need to see too many of them. I'm playing 3 Slime's Blessing. Class bonus, this card costs 1 less to activate. Choose up to 3 units, put a level counter on each chosen champion and a buff counter on each chosen slime ally. So this is also really nice for meeting pride requirements. You can just level up your champion. So this is just really, really nice. At meeting those requirements, you can also put buff counters on things. This is also a fast skill. So this card can be a combat trick. So if your opponent is attacking, you can just buff up your slime so they can get stronger during combat. But this is just a really nice card. Stronger before combat, I mean. I have 4 slime shields. So slime shield, class bonus level 2+. This card costs 1 less to activate. Prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to target unit this turn. If that unit is a slime ally, put a buff counter on it. So this is also a combat trick. This can also save your slimes from lethal damage. But yeah, this is just a pretty nice card to have. It's also fast activation. Pretty nice card. Yep. I'm playing 4 copies of Forest Cake. So Forest Cake is an item. On enter, draw a card. Class bonus, whenever an animal or beast ally enters a field under your control, you may sacrifice Forest Cake. If you do, put a buff counter on the ally. So you can just buff things up. So you can, for example, buff up green slime so you can get more buff counters. You can buff up pretty much any slime you want. It does have that on enter draw card, and it is an item. So if you want more card draw, you could just play baby green slime, suppress Forest Cake, and then when Forest Cake would enter the field again, you would draw another card. So basically just benefiting off of the on enter draw card, so baby green slime is good for that. I don't know what this is. Oh, yep. Okay, this is Storm Slime. So this is why you kind of want to banish your slimes. It has Pride 3. On enter, as a spell, deal damage to target unit equal to the number of slime cards in your banishment. Class bonus, on death. You may banish 2 cards at random from your memory. If you do, draw 2 cards. So, what's really nice about this slime is that the deck is just based on banishing a bunch of cards. You have the dungeon guides that banish. You have the slime eruptions that banish. You also have the regalia that banish, like the. I'll just put this down for a bit. You have the verdant scepter, I believe. No, yes, verdant scepter. So this banishes 1 slime. You have the Guy's Blessing that banishes 4 slimes. So just from those 2, you can banish 5. You can banish more of Dungeon Guide. You can banish more Slime Eruption. You can banish more natively, naturally, as you play more Regalia out that have memory cost. But yeah, this is pretty nice for the deck because you have so many cards in this deck that banish. But because of the on death, you may banish 2 cards at random from your memory. If you do draw 2 cards, you can also very easily make it so your memory is just only slimes or just very heavy on slimes. So when this dies, you can banish 2 cards. Maybe you banish more slimes, and then the next Storm Slime just comes down stronger. It will just deal more damage. So it is just really nice. It will make the Storm Slime stronger, and by that I mean make the effect stronger. But it is just a really nice card. Slime King. It was not King Slime, it was Slime King. So Slime King, very nice. As an additional cost to activate this card, banish 3 slime ally cards, each with different elements from your graveyard. Pride 4 and Taunt. Element bonus on leave. You may put any number of the slime ally cards banished by Slime King onto the field under your control. So this is just really nice. You get more cards in banishment. So while cards are banished with Slime King, you can play Storm Slime for even more damage. But once this leaves play in any way, you get to play out those slime allies banished with this card onto the field. So what's really, really nice about this is that Escape the Wreckage works so well. If this would leave field in any way, play those slime allies out. Escape the Wreckage. Return target ally you control into your memory if you do draw a card into your memory. So whenever you want to bring slimes out, for example, if this is going to die by your opponent, whether they're attacking into it or if they're targeting it with some kind of ability, you can escape the wreckage, put this into memory, draw a card into memory because this leaves play those slime allies out. You don't even have to use escape the wreckage as this is in danger. You can just use it whenever realistically. So for example, if I banish baby green slime, I can just use escape the wreckage, bring this out, and then just because I want to use the on enter of baby green slime, or if I want to use the on enter of storm slime, I can banish that, and then just basically at fast speed be able to bring a storm slime out and then deal damage to anything that I want. Is just really nice. Escape the wreckage while used on Slime King after banishing Storm Slime just becomes a removal spell that you can just use to get rid of your opponent's allies or just hit them with face. But yeah, Slime King, very nice. And also you have more slimes that we'll get into. Yep. 3 copies of Verdant Slime. So Verdant Slime is pretty nice. I don't think that you need to run more than 3. Pride 5, class bonus taunt, on enter destroy up to 1 target regalia with memory cost 0 if you don't put 2 buff counters on Verdant Slime. So you can try to destroy one of your opponent's regalias, but otherwise this is just a 4/4 if you don't destroy anything. But this is just pretty nice. I'm only playing this at 3. I don't think that you need more. Also, I want more unique elements in the deck for Slime King. So I think that 3 is nice. Just in case you do want to see it so you can destroy some regalia. But destroying regalia, 0 cost regalia specifically, isn't as impactful. So I'm only playing this at 3 because sometimes you do need it, but you don't want to see it more often. I believe this is 3. I'm not sure. Yep, 3. 3 copies of Lustrous Slime. Pride 5, Taunt, on enter. Reveal any number of slime cards from your memory. For each card revealed this way, put a buff counter on Lustrous Slime. On death, recover X, where X is the amount of buff counters that were on Lustrous Slime. So this is pretty nice. Because this card is one such card that gives you more advantage the more buff counters it has on it. Verdant Scepter can just keep giving this thing buff counters, or even your green slimes, when they die, they can give this buff counters, or even your spells, so like Slime's Blessing and Slime Shield can give this buff counters. But basically when this dies, and it has taunt. So realistically, this can just like wall attacks. You can also retaliate the attack. But when this dies, you then recover the amount of buff counters on it. So it's just pretty nice. Uh, just being able to be very big, so you can aggro your opponent, or just being really defensive with taunts and also that recovery effect. It's just really nice with the deck. I'm playing 2 copies of Twilight Slime, so I don't see people running this card, but I think this card is really good. So it has Pride 3. Class bonus, your champion and other slimes you control have Spell Shroud. So why am I playing this when I'm also playing Spell Shroud Regalia already? So the only Spell Shroud Regalia I have is Beastbond Boots, and you only have that, and it's like a one-time effect, and it's only for your champion. This Twilight Slime affects your champion as well as your slimes. So this is just really nice at giving things Spell Shroud. I mentioned earlier that Stone Scale Band combos very well with a specific slime in the deck. I want to say that Stone Scale Band is just a fun way of giving you instant speed Spell Shroud. So suppose that you already used up your Beastbond Boots. Now your opponent is targeting you with another spell. You're just like, well, I have the cards in hand necessary to activate to use this ability. So you then use this ability. Now you can play Twilight Slime at instant speed. Play this out. Because you have Spell Shroud, then the spell will just fizzle. But yeah, this is a nice way of giving you Spell Shroud at instant speed. I think that Spell Shroud is really nice for the deck. I don't see other people running Twilight Slime. However, I think that Twilight Slime is just really, really good. So now let's go over the sideboard. So I'm just going to clear this out the way. Okay, so these cards are all set. I'll just put them down. Now let's go over the sideboard. 4 copies of Vampiric Slime. So Vampiric Slime has Pride 3. On hit, recover X, where X is the amount of damage dealt by this unit. So this is just a nice way of getting more life for your champion after you have been dwindled down. So this is a really nice card to splash in if you need it. Of course, it is not as good if your opponent is very aggro and they're just like rushing you down before you have a chance to even play this out, because this is an advanced element slime. But, you know, depending on matchup, it could be good, which is why it's in the sideboard, because you don't really want it in the main deck. I also have 4 copies of Bestial Frenzy. So, Bestial Frenzy, choose 1. But, because you are a Tamer class, you get to choose 2. Your champion gets +1 level until end of turn, which is alright. Target Beast Ally gets +1 power until end of turn, which is very nice. Target Beast Ally gains Cleave until end of turn, which is also very nice. Because Vampiric Slime is a Beast Ally, you can target it to give it +1 power and also gains Cleave. And Cleave is that is the ability to target all of the enemy units with your, or like not target, is to attack all of your enemy units, so their champions and their allies in one swing. So basically, because on hit recover X, where X is the amount of damage dealt by this unit, dealt by this hit, then you can give this. So even if you have no buff counters on it, let's say that baseline is just 3 power from the Bestial Frenzy, and then it cleaves, If it hits one thing, you gain 3. So for basically every thing that it hits, you will recover 3. So if you hit 5 different allies and champions, so you will recover 15. But yeah, just recovering 3 for everything that you hit. Very nice effect. But again, you don't really need it in the main deck because, you don't really know if you need it or not. But if you do need it, you have the 4 copies and the 4 copies of Bestial Frenzy that you can sub in. I have 3 Ethereal Slimes. So Ethereal Slime can come in handy, but I don't really like Ethereal Slime personally. Enough to run it in the main deck, but it is a pretty good card to sideboard. Pride 3, Stealth, True Sight, class bonus on enter. You may banish a Tamer card from your material deck if you do draw a card and put a buff counter on Ethereal Slime. So the on enter, depending on the matchup that you're facing, you may not need all of your Tamer regalia. So, you could on enter and then draw a card, put a buff counter on Ethereal Slime. But because I also do not know if I need this card or not, it's just going in the sideboard. But, for example, if I'm playing against a deck that does not really have spell damage or spell interaction, spells interacting with my champions, I don't really need the Beastbond Boots, for example. So I could sub in Ethereal Slime, play it, get rid of Beastbond Boots, draw a card, get a buff counter. So depending on matchup, Ethereal Slime is nice, but I would not run it in my main deck until I determine that it's a nice card to include. Level 5, prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to Ethereal Slime. Also very nice. This is just immune to Fireball. I have not checked this ruling yet. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Ethereal Slime. I do not know how it would work with Covenant of Thorns. So if you ally Link to the Ethereal Slime, the damage that would be dealt to your champion is dealt to linked ally instead. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it seems like a nice combo. I'm just not fully positive if I understand it correctly. But if it works with Ethereal Slime, so you can prevent damage that would be dealt to your champion by redirecting to Ethereal Slime. If it's treated as non-combat damage, it would just take nothing. That would be really, really good. I just do not know if it works that way or not. I have not checked the ruling. I have my 4th copy of Slime's Blessing, so you don't really need 4 copies in the main deck, but you could run a 4th copy in the sideboard. Same thing for Baby Green Slime. You don't know if you need it or not, but another copy in the sideboard. So again, this is really good with the 2 cost item in the main deck that on enter draws a card. So you can just have this in the main deck so you can have more card draw. If you determine that you want to run 4 copies of the main deck, you have 1 Escape the Wreckage, so just a 4th copy in the sideboard. So you have 3 copies in the main deck because Escape the Wreckage with Slime King is very nice, but you don't know if you need to run 4 copies. Like, this is for more slow games. If you are playing against a slow matchup, then you would tech in your 4th copy. And then you have another copy of Twilight Slime because this is really nice against decks that use spells against your units. You don't know if every deck is going to use spells on your units, so I have this in the sideboard. The reason why I'm still running 2 in the main deck is because its effect is so good that even if they do not have spells to use on it, I just like running it in the main deck so that if they do have spells that they would use, you have an out. So this just gives you an out for, fireballs or arcane spells that deal a lot of damage to face. But yeah, this is a really nice out for you and I'm including 2 copies in the main deck. If you determine that you don't really need it, you can always just sideboard it out, put different copies of cards in depending on what you need. However, I think that it's just a really nice out for spell damage. So it's just a nice inclusion in the main deck once you are playing. And of course, if you don't like it, just take it out. But, if you are playing against a deck that will hit you at face with a ton of damage via spells, Twilight Slime is just a really nice include. It also combos so well with Stone Scale Band, just giving yourself fast speed spell shroud. Very nice. But yeah, this is my deck profile video for Silvie Slime Sovereign. I hope that you enjoyed it. This is my take on the deck. It is cards that I really like, especially the Twilight Slime. I have not seen any other deck list that uses it. I don't really like Ethereal Slime as much, so I'm putting it in the sideboard. But yeah, this is just based on my own personal preferences. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching this deck profile video. I'll see you all later.